Waukesha County Sheriff's contract, this was tabled from August 8th. You have some communication from Holly from the Sheriff's Department. They don't have their contracts ready. She did put in what the changes are in the contract.
He had them with him.
This is the email from Lindsey Johnson that was
Yes.
received yesterday at 10 o'clock.
Since we don't have a contract yet, I would suggest that we table this yet again until we receive a final version of their contract for review.
I'll make that motion. Second.
Let's table this to a date certain of next week. Is there any problem with it? Date certain of next meeting,
I agree to that.
Discussion.
not on a tabling motion.
Actually, yes, you can, according to our ordinances.
Any other discussion on a tabled motion? A motion to table to a date certain.
At the
Can you have
table, yeah, there's
discussion?
no vote.
There is discussion, fair enough. Please, Mike.
Just quick question, that's all, nothing
Yes.
more than that. Apparently, the sheriff's department is waiting for the budget that they presented to the DOA. And the DOA is gonna review that, I understand. And my question is, will it be ready for September 12th, or are they gonna have a contract back for us for September 12th? Or are we gonna be faced with the same thing? Kinda correlates what I'm waiting for from the city. People wait for things.
I haven't a clue what their time schedule is. Anything else?
No answer to my question.
You expect me to answer whether or not the Department of Justice or the Department of Administration is going to be prepared to review the sheriff's contract?
You expect me to,
Yes, I
find out
do.
if
I expect
all
you
the
to
wheels in
perform
the
the
city are
task.
gonna
I
turn?
expect you to perform
water
the
issue?
task that you have volunteered for. Let's call a vote. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. On to the snow contract for the 2013-2014 season. Again, tabled from the August 8th meeting. I would suggest that we go out for proposals.
Last meeting, you had recommended, John, that the proposals would include storage of our salt or purchasing of our salt through the county, and you were going to bring back information today to that effect of what, because the proposal, whether we're storing salt with our vendor or whether they gotta drive their truck empty to the city to get salt, or to the county, excuse me, may be different costs, different concerns for them. Is that, do we have a copy of a proposal that you'd like us to approve to send out, or where are we?
The previous RFP that we have sent out. Well, let's back up. Salt costs. Jamie, do you have the salt costs? We got two bids, one from Morton and one from North American, I believe. The cost from the county to store the salt, handle it, and load it at a county facility is $7 per ton.
Do we have this information?
They don't have anything in writing, Joe. They just give it, I asked them for it, they gave it to me.
Good.
The salt that came in from Morton is $56.49 per ton. It's the same price as last year. North American came in at $54.23, and that's 27 cents less than last year. However, we need to figure out the tonnage. And if you guys wanted to use both again, or go to one, however you would Truce.
So are you proposing that we abandon your suggestion with regard to acquiring our salt at the county?
We cannot, you had to order salt in early April.
So we're abandoning that, so this is gonna be with our salt, so our proposal, the request that we used in previous years, you feel sufficient to go out on the street with?
With the exception of the salt will be stored at the county.
So we're gonna buy our salt and they're gonna store it for us?
And handle it and load it for $7 a ton, yes.
We didn't, how does that compare with storage and hand, Wolf didn't charge us anything for storage last
They
year?
charged you a trip fee of $50 every time they left the town line to go get it.
Which was a bargain, because otherwise you're paying the hourly rate fee, so somebody's here plowing and they have to drive there at $95 an hour.
They're aware.
The county. That's a-
Racine and County I is moments from here, Joe.
That may very well be, you haven't proposed where we're gonna store it? And then you add a $7 a ton, so if it costs, I mean, if we're gonna get into these costs, you're saying that it's roughly a $7 per ton. The truck is holding arguably 9 tons, so that's a $63 bill every time that truck goes from here to there, on top of the time it takes for them to travel from here to, if that's where they're gonna keep it on Racine Avenue, okay, maybe that's 10, maybe that's 15 minutes. I don't know. So now you've got a half hour at $40-some an hour, you've got an extra $100 you're spending. How does that compare with the $50 trip that we pay when a truck comes here full and has to return, if they have to return to go get that? And I think that's a fair discussion to have, to understand how that money shakes out and what is the best deal for the community, and is the community better served at one or the other? As a vendor, I gotta tell you, Wolf, we talked about storing material here in the town, and their concern last year was the danger in an empty truck driving on snow-filled, ice-filled roads, coming here to get their material. Now, I'm not a snowplow guy, I don't drive a big dump truck, I don't know what hazards they have, but maybe those are genuine concerns, maybe that was just them selling us that they'd rather have the salt at their facility.
I think to decrease the argument here, John, you were to bring back some of this information. It sure is nice to hear it, but I sure do want to see it. So when you talk to people and when you get prices, get documentation. Once again, we're faced with a decision based on information. All we got to go on is hearsay, and that's wrong. That's very, very wrong. We're being neglected with the information that we need. If in fact it's true, okay, and I don't deny it's true, what's wrong with getting some sort of document to share with us? And that holds true in anything and everything that should be in our packets. And for that reason, I say, we're undecided where's the salt coming from and how we're gonna load it. How are we gonna get this snow contract out to people? And they have to know, well, what's the deal with the salt? Well, there's nothing in here, and we have nothing to show them. We got your word. I want document and anything and everything that's said to you.
John, have you talked to any potential vendors about the fact that they would then need to drive, let's say Wolf was our lowest bidder, he would need to drive his trucks, call it 7 of them, empty from place A down to there to get our material? Are they willing, or have you talked to anybody that said, yeah, that's not a problem for us?
Are you advocating that salt trucks drive around half full or to some degree still have salt in them because they need it for traction? And that
I'm not,
they make half a
I'm
trip?
not making that statement. They have. I mean, they don't drive here empty. They drive here full because it is, in their words, a safer vehicle to drive. It gives them better traction. Our own DPW makes statements that they've actually altered their plow route so that they can do some of the steepest hills with the fullest load. I mean, I don't drive those trucks. I've never been behind the wheel of one of those things. I don't know how it's to drive.
They drive back to the shop.
Empty.
What would you like? Tell me what you want, folks.
Same thing we wanted 2 weeks ago, John.
I didn't ask you about 2 weeks ago. I'm asking you right now, Mike, specifically, what do you want? What documents do you want?
We always
Where the
ask that
salt is
question.
gonna be stored, how much it's gonna cost.
I told you it's $7 a ton. You want me to get somebody to put an email that says $7 a ton? Is that what you're looking for?
I want a document. It doesn't have to be an email. I want an actual document from the person and/or company you're talking to. You're talking to people that we don't know who you're talking to. They may be your brother-in-law.
I talked to Allison Bustler.
Okay. Put it on paper. What's the big secret?
There's no secret, I'm telling you, I told you the same thing last time. And Jamie has the bids from North American and from Morton. What else do you want?
What did I just say? Did you hear me? Documentation. Documentation.
You want a letter saying it's $7 a ton to store, handle, and load salt. I'll get you that. What else do you want?
What else would you like?
Okay, so we're storing that at the county?
No, we're not.
Well, would you like to
No,
store
that's
at the
what you're
county?
proposing.
That's what.
Okay, my question is, what's gonna happen when we have a huge snowstorm? All the county trucks are running all over, they're empty, we're gonna sit to wait to be loaded at the county garage while they load their own. They're not gonna load ours while theirs are sitting there. I can't believe that.
What's your solution?
Don't go to the county.
Yeah.
Okay, what I want, John, for September 12th, not what I want, what this town board would like to see, and what the citizens out here in the audience would like to hear, is what are your intentions of storing salt, cost of it, and things of that nature. Everything that applies, or anything that applies to a snowplow contract. Very much big part of it.
What are your intentions, Supervisor Laska? What solutions have you found?
I have solutions based on documentation where I can draw a conclusion from.
What are they?
Right now, I don't have all the necessary pieces to the puzzle.
What solutions have you come up with other than salt storage at the county? What have you investigated?
I don't have anything to go on outside of your word, and I'm just asking you for documentation. Why do you keep avoiding that?
No, Mike, I'm not asking you about the county's salt storage program. I'm asking you, what solutions and alternatives have you sought out?
Personally,
Yes,
none.
thank you.
But I think you took this.
Chairman, yeah, last meeting, you agreed to do that. Why are you pushing it off on us now?
I'm not pushing it off. We have the salt bids from Morton and North American, and the only thing that you don't have is something that says $7 per ton to store at county.
And we don't
That's-
have, I'll make a motion to give the chairman his wish. I would make a motion that we approve the sending of request for proposal with a $7 storage ton per handling fee per ton for our salt to be at the county, and let's see if we get bids and from whom. This is a request for a proposal. Hector, if I understand, that means that we are not obligated to act upon those proposals, is that correct?
Provided you state that. Yeah, so you're not gonna get
Like to
anybody
know
to bid it.
I would like to know the information because I believe that there are going to be a number of contractors that are not interested in driving their trucks on slippery roads empty on their way in to a storm.
And in past meetings also, you didn't like the way we didn't have control of the salt at Wolf's.
Excuse me, Larry. I have never said that, ever.
Okay, I will go back in the minutes.
Please do, so
Okay,
please
I
retract your
will-
statement, I have never said that.
I will find that, but okay, I'll retract it for now. You think you're gonna have more control at the county salt storage shed?
Did I say we'll have more control or less control? It wasn't about control, it was about cost and the ease of getting it.
Have you talked to anybody, and I will recommend that you have a conversation with Everett German, because he has many times bemoaned participating in county salt. And I'll just say he has made statements about it so that I'm not misquoted or taking something out of character or statement or any of the other stuff, the rhetoric that you guys share. I would recommend even that we bring Everett here and ask him to come to the next meeting and tell us what he has told us in the past about the county storage of salt and the predisposition to, if they start running low, give material to their state contracted trucks and tell us, sorry, there's no salt at the inn.
I'm not 100% certain, but I believe the way that that law reads is that the county can commandeer salt from private contractors, not from other municipalities. I believe that's what you're speaking of.
I, just comments that Everett has offered up here in.
I appreciate that. I have
But we should get that right out of Everett's
conversation.
mouth so that I'm not, I'm recollecting the best
I
that
don't think we
can
should
on
get
what
it out of
Everett's-
Everett's mouth, I think we should get it out of the actual statute. Be great.
We're in August. I'd like to see a snowplow contractor in place in September. I've got the EBGBs about wait until November. We send out, based on, as I understand Joe's motion, we send out a proposal to these contractors, knowingly none of them will have anything to do with the salt storage at the county. We waste time.
How do you know?
We don't.
We don't.
Say, give you what you want. You
We're
want
pretty
to-
much
There's the
sure,
road. Go for
I
it.
don't, we'll lose a month or two if we horseplay around with this. And until I get something to even wanna think about the county and their storage is what we talked about. And you did note on your paper, so I'm expecting to see something by, I'm sorry, not by the 12th of September, by the Friday prior to the 12th of September, and that's the way the packets should be, and that's the information that should be in the packet, based on that being on the agenda. Is that clear? It should be. That's what I want to see.
You will have an email from Allison Bustler that says salt storage is $7 a ton for handling and storage at the county. Is there anything else you require?
Will priority be given to county trucks versus our trucks that'll be out there plowing?
Define priority. What, ask, give me your specific question.
That's a
Who's getting
specific-
loaded?
And I,
Who's getting
wasn't that
loaded?
specific?
Is your, no, it is not specific.
It is a very
Is
specific
priority
question.
over, no, it is not a specific
Let her
question.
interpret
Is
what
it-
that means in her
is it-
answer.
Let them come back with it.
She can interpret that in her answer.
Is that priority in the amount of salt that's available in the salt shed? Is that priority in the pecking order of who gets loaded first?
All of the above.
Is that?
Yes.
Fair enough. Okay. Anything else?
All the question.
I would move that we table this until next week then.
Well,
Until
there's
next
already a
meeting.
motion on the floor that I made to give you your wish to agree to submit for a request for proposal with the contractors accepting storage of salt material to be picked up at the county and, as you've identified, on Racine and I. That was what you represented. That's what you're asking here, is for us to move down that path. My motion is to let you have at it. Let's get those back, I don't know, a couple of, 3 weeks. That puts us in September. we can see what comes of it.
I second the motion.
There you go.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. On to G, discussion of waiving of Five Diamonds invoices.
We're gonna direct who's gonna be doing this because there's a draft, the contract that I have in there has the two yellow sections, and I asked for those to discuss after the meeting. Send out if you guys want to.
Jamie's asking for some direction with regards to this contract. There are some areas in it that need to be revised. Does anybody have any problem if between Jamie and I, we revise the RFP and send it out?
I have none.
What example, please?
The example that was in your packet.
No, you mean example of what might be
Of what you
wrong?
would like to change.
What might be wrong with it?
No, it was the contract from the prior year that was placed into your packet for discussion this evening, and I highlighted the yellow sections because it was the salt section that was in question for the evening versus the county and/or the $50 trip charge type thing.
I think the language is supposed to be that the contractor has to accept that they will pick up and return unused material to,
No, they're not gonna return unused
well,
material.
what happens to the unused material? We just.
Gets used in the next snowstorm.
They don't leave that in a truck. It'll rust out their bucket. I mean, Wolf last year gave us weight tickets in and out, and they certainly unloaded those trucks.
We'll send it out, Joe.
So it should identify, Jamie, or do you need any other direction?